Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we might have a bit of a long video, but we're going to go over all the announcements that were made at the Disney Investors Summit. I think it was yesterday or the day before was when most of this information came out, but I just wanted to let it all trickle out so I could do a big compilation video on it. And we'll go through the different sub companies of Disney, because we have stuff from Marvel, we have stuff from Star Wars, we have stuff from Pixar, we have stuff specifically for Disney Plus, and a few other miscellaneous things too, because they obviously do have a lot of different, hands in various different pies. Now, most of this is going to relate to the television and or streaming side of things and the movie side of things, not so much the any of the video games or anything like that. But first, let's start off with Marvel. Now, Marvel, they gave a couple of updates on some already existing shows we already knew were going to be coming out. WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki got its first look, so if you guys want to go hop over and take a look at that if you're interested in that show. They didn't really give too much context. And the Hawkeye show also got a somewhat premiere. It's going to be premiering in fall of 2021. Haley Steinfeld is going to be playing the Kate Bishop character. I think most people will remember her recently from the Bumblebee film. They also debuted some footage from the What If series, and this is the bigger one. They've announced 3 new series that have not yet been confirmed. Again, Disney is dumping a lot of money into this. Ironheart, which, good fucking God, why did you have to go there? I knew they were going to go there eventually, but just really, so Dominique Thorne is going to be playing the character of Riri Williams. I expect that to fail miserably. Armor Wars, which is actually going to be starring Don Cheadle as War Machine, battling Tony Stark's biggest fears. In other words, the idea that his weapons and stuff are falling into the wrong hands. So that's really going to be War Machine kind of just going on a one-man death squad, I would imagine, something like that. And then we also have Secret Invasion, which a lot of people thought was actually going to wind up being an Avengers film. Instead, it's going to be a series starring Sam Jackson's Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn's Talos from Captain Marvel, and also the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. They kind of tease that as well. So as I think I already went over the Ironheart, I'm not even going to go over that until I see anything about it, because it already sounds horrible to me. Armor Wars does not sound like a bad idea. Don Cheadle is a charismatic guy, and I think he can carry a film if you give him the chance. And I don't think he's really had that chance so far. And then Secret Invasion is one of those ones like, okay. Like, it feels kind of like you just wanted an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, because you can't actually bring them over now because of the weird universe thing that's going on there. So that's kind of their answer to that, and then they can also kind of check the Secret Invasion plot line off of their little checklist of shit they haven't exploited yet. Now, no release dates for those projects have been stated, but I would assume it would be at the very earliest sometime in 2022. Now, they also updated the casting a little bit for She-Hulk and a little bit for Ms. Marvel. So She-Hulk is actually going to be played by a Canadian actress named Tatiana Maslany, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. So she is going to be playing She-Hulk. She doesn't necessarily look bad. I think she looks pretty decent for the part. I think physically, I think she can build herself up a bit more. I'm curious, actually, what they're going to wind up doing, because I don't necessarily know what her height is. So they might have to upscale her a little bit with CGI, like they did with Mark Ruffalo when he's in the Smart Hulk form. But you have that, and they also confirmed that Ms. Marvel, the character that's going to be in her own series, which again was previously announced, Iman Vellani, I think is the one who would be playing Kamala Khan. She is going to be appearing in Captain Marvel 2, along with the Monica Rambeau character that's played by Rashana Lynch. So I think that's what everybody expected. I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary. They also announced a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that's going to be going to Disney Plus. That's going to be out at the end of 2022. That's definitely a fair bit off, but I'm kind of curious what that's going to be, because James Gunn always does like to play around with like these weird like kind of niche nerd tongue in cheek things. So I don't know if he's going to try and do a thing where that's similar to the Star Wars holiday special, and it's kind of a goofy like sketch comedy thing that makes no sense. But there is that, in addition to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is going to be coming out a little bit later on after that. Now, that's more for the Disney Plus side, because again, all of that is basically going right to Disney Plus. Most of those are series. As for the movies, Feihe stated that they will not be recasting Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. I think everybody kind of expected that. However, Black Panther 2 is still slated to go forward as scheduled. I still believe that they will probably turn the sister into the new Black Panther, and again, that wouldn't really shock me to try and carry that series on because it was a big moneymaker for them. The third Ant-Man film has gotten a title, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Okay, whoever's coming up with these titles, these tongue-in-cheek like Multiverse of Madness, like that type of shit. Whoever's coming up with those, you need to fire that person. And this is also going to introduce Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Again, that was something that has been very much speculated for a while, and Kang is a major villain in the Marvel Universe, and he's extremely dangerous, which, again, it kind of is odd to me that they're introducing him in this. But I assume that'll probably lead into some kind of an Avengers film. They also confirmed that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness will tie into both WandaVision and the new Spider-Man movie. I think we could probably guess that from both of those because Scarlet Witch is supposed to be involved in Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man seems like he is dealing with the after results of Multiverse of Madness. Marvel also confirmed that they are developing a Fantastic Four film, which is another big one. Again, no casting necessarily on that, but we'll see how that project shakes up because I'm curious where they're going to wind up going with that. So that kind of rounds out Marvel for the most part. Now we're going to go down to Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm has a lot of shit that they are also dumping. So Marvel and Lucasfilm basically kind of use this. And anybody that wanted to say, oh, they're slowing down on Star Wars, they are not slowing down on Star Wars. They are pushing that shit together. They only had to slow down literally probably for this year and some of next year just to, because of the pandemic and stuff. But there's a lot to go through here. Now, first of all, on the show side of things, I think they already confirmed that we're going to be getting a Mandalorian Season 3. However, there are 2 spin-offs that are also apparently coming off of Mandalorian Season 2 and will be their own individual series. Now, I think those are going to be limited series, or at least one of them has been confirmed to. One of those will be Ahsoka, which is going to star Rosario Dawson as the adult Ahsoka Tano from Mandalorian Season 2. And that series is going to be written by Dave Filoni. However, no other information was given on it. Except for one other thing that I'll mention at the end. And then the other one is Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic. Now that sounds kind of goofy. And honestly, the moniker for it, like, because they have like the little, the style, the font style and everything like that up there for the little logo. It looks goofy. It looks kind of like a video game. There really wasn't any information given on that, but apparently these 2 series are going to intertwine with The Mandalorian and result in one kind of climactic final finale or something to it. Or several, because again, they'll probably try and carry this thing on for as long as they can. But you have those 2 series that are coming off of that. We also have the Obi-Wan series, which, again, has now officially been confirmed. And we also have Hayden Christensen coming back to play Darth Vader. Now, that is interesting to me because really Christensen never played Darth Vader. Let's be honest about that. He was only in that costume for a very brief amount of time. Just basically long enough to make a few poses and act out the screaming of no. I'm not sure how much longer they can actually contract James Earl Jones to come in before he actually dies. I think he's in his late 80s at this point. Regardless, I think they got him for Rogue One. They got him. I can't remember if they got him for Rebels. I don't think they did. I think they got a stand-in for that. But I think it'll be interesting if they bring back Jones to do the voice. They don't try and get the guy from Rebels who kind of does a fairly good interpretation of that voice. I'm fairly certain those are two different voice actors, or two different people. The person that voice acts Vader on Rebels, and the person and James Earl Jones who does him in the movies. So that'll be interesting. Again, that's going to be a live action series, and we're going to be following Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is going to be played by Ewan McGregor coming back in. And then we also have Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Now, this is apparently going to be following the Bad Batch of clones from the Clone Wars, the television show. And then that is going to debut on Disney Plus. Again, we don't have too much information on some of these. We do know that this is going to follow the Bad Batch, which were introduced in the last season of Clone Wars. We also know that this is going to take place between episodes 3 and 4 during the rise of the Empire. But aside from that, we don't really have too much information. It could have something to do with them hunting down Jedi. That's a possibility. But again, I don't really want to jump too much to conclusions on that one. Then we also have the Rogue One Diego Luna series, which is going to be, Cassian Andor. It's just being called Star Wars Andor, which actually kind of sounds like the name of a planet. Now that is going to be coming to Disney Plus in 2022. Again, we didn't get too much information on that. We also got the continuation of the High Republic, which is going to be they're going to have a new series basically based on that. And it's going to be helmed by the person that did Russian Doll, the creator Leslie Headland, who I've made videos about, or I made a video about when she was hired in the past, so I don't see that one panning out too well. There is also going to be something called A Droid Story, a new project for Disney Plus, which is going to be based around R2-D2 and C-3PO. Please, for the love of God, do not turn them into the Odd Couple. That would just be weird. We also have Star Wars Lando, which is another series that's going to Disney Plus. Nobody's sure if that's going to be Billy D. Williams or Donald Glover. It's just kind of weird. And then we also have Star Wars Visions, which is an anime anthology that is also going to be coming to Disney Plus. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, I remember there was like a Star Wars anime thing a little while ago. You can find it on YouTube, I think. I'm not sure exactly what it's from, but it would be interesting to see it done. I just hope it's not done in that crappy 3D style that they usually like to do. Now, here's the next big kind of thing, and this is going to be the Star Wars films, and we got word that the next Star Wars film is going to be Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So this is going to be a movie version of Rogue Squadron, and it is going to be directed by Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. Now, I'm sure they've been frothing at the mouth to get her in to do something, especially with Wonder Woman 1984 pretty much done and in the can at this point. I think she's free for a little bit. I don't think they're doing Wonder Woman 3 right now. But I would find that very interesting if we're going to see, is this going to be one of the... It really depends on how Wonder Woman 1984 turns out. If that movie turns out to be hot garbage, then I could probably see Rogue Squadron turning into hot garbage. But I like the first Wonder Woman. This one doesn't look terrible to me. It looks basically about what I figured it was going to be. I don't necessarily think it's going to blow me away, but I think it'll probably be a fairly good film. So again, it kind of hinges on how that film shakes out when that is released. But I'd be interested to see where she can go with this, because taking the dogfighting aspect and just kind of going with that is kind of interesting. Again, I don't necessarily maybe know that if you could make a movie out of that, but it would be kind of interesting. We also don't know what time period this takes place in, although we do know that the Rogue Squadron logo that they actually give you for the film looks like it has Poe Dameron's X-Wing design on it, because that is not an old Rebel X-Wing if you look at the engine design for it. They did not really they gave an announcement that Taika Waititi's Star Wars film is in development. We don't really know too much more about that. Now we can go to the animation and Pixar section, and this is kind of a smaller little bit, but it's still there's still a couple in here that are kind of interesting just from a story aspect. Now, one of them is they're going to be doing a Baymax series, and that kind of overlaps a little bit with the Marvel, but basically it's going to just be the same thing that you think it's going to be. It's going to be Big Hero 6, same character. Not really, probably some events after the movie coming out in 2022. They also premiered Zootopia Plus, which is going to be in a series on Disney Plus, again, coming in 2022. They went over Raya the Last Dragon, which, again, everybody knows that's already been announced. Tiana, based on Princess and the Frog, is coming to Disney Plus as well. A long-form musical comedy series based on Moana is also coming. And God, I can't even read half of these names on here. Let's just kind of skip down to some of the big ones, which is basically kind of more the less the Disney animation and more Pixar. And one of the big ones from Pixar is Lightyear. Now, this is going to be interesting. Now, this is supposed to be the origin story of Buzz Lightyear in turn, not the toy, but the guy that the toy is based off of. Now, I think most people, when we watched the original Toy Story, or at least years later, we thought that Buzz Lightyear was a reference to Buzz Aldrin, who was an astronaut, and a very famous one. So now, apparently, in the Pixar universe, Buzz Lightyear actually exists as a real person. Whereas before they've established that characters like Woody were not real people. Like Woody was based off of an old serial show that used to be on television and radio and stuff like that. That's what he was based off of. Apparently, Buzz Lightyear is based off of a real person. He's going to be voiced by Chris Evans. We have a Cars series, a Pixar popcorn shorts for iconic Pixar characters, so basically kind of like a clip show. Spark Shorts, which is again, that is from that is an original property. Actually, I stand corrected because I'm trying to go through these as readily as I can because most of them are just kind of glaze over, except for a couple. So we have a couple other ones that are going to be kind of strange after we get through these, but those are kind of the miscellaneous ones. But like I said, we have Lightyear. We have another project called Turning Red. So this is odd to me. So this is about a girl going through puberty, and apparently she turns into a giant red panda. So it's kind of like Teen Wolf, except instead of turning into a werewolf, she turns into a panda. I don't even understand how that works. I'm going to have to wait for a trailer for that. Now there are a few other things that were announced from Disney. Noah Hawley is making an Alien TV series for Netflix and Hulu, or not Netflix, for FX and Hulu, I should say, which again are both under the Disney banner at this point. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with him, he also helmed the Fargo series and the Legion series, and this series is going to be based off the aliens from the Alien film franchise. So again, we don't know too much about that. We don't even have a release date. And Ice Age is getting a spin-off series, but that's really nothing. I don't think anybody actually cares about that at this point. We also got news that Always Sunny in Philadelphia is going to be getting an additional 4 seasons, which is not really that shocking to me, to be honest. I mean, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, as long as you let those guys do whatever they're going to do, it's basically an excuse to print money, so I can understand that. Keep them going as long as you can. I'm sure they're going to leave eventually, probably at the end of that contract, since they've already signed it, apparently. Or, assuming Danny DeVito lives to that date, but he probably will, as long as he doesn't drink himself into oblivion. But, regardless of that, I think that rounds out that entire thing. That is a lot longer of a video than I planned on making on this, but, out of any of those announcements that I just went over, the many, many, many announcements that I just went over, do you like any of them? Do you hate any of them? Do you have any opinions on any of them? Put your thoughts in the comments below. As usual, I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?